Try to get used to the curved surface of the cloak and the plenitude of distracting small dots. For most of the time, you manage to stay focused. After less than an hour, you manage to spell out the positions and colors of the larger dots from memory. Then, again and again, step away, convinced you've got this. Ah, that took a while. At least I've got a map. Now all that's left is just get ready to make that trip. The griffin is nowhere in sight. You sprout the brown fur of a hoofed critter running on the plateau above you. Before you consider chasing after it, it flees with short skips, traversing smoothly through the rocky terrain. No griffin, but there's still a spear. A simple weapon, but not a cheap one. The light shaft makes you think of ashwood, and is neither soggy nor bent. The head is made of iron or steel and has a bar at the end that's meant to stop the blade from getting too deep into the flesh. The ferrule placed at the bottom of the weapon could serve as a club in a desperate situation. There's no way telling if it was left after an unsuccessful hunt, or carried here together with a monster's victim. Maybe use it as a toothpick. Use a rope to climb down and take a closer look. In a few minutes, you tie it to a wooden post and use its support to safely get down, placing your feet on the rock face. Once you touch the grass again, the beast's realm is oddly quiet. Examine the nearby bones. You dig through the ribs, spines, femurs, and skulls, you find nothing that could be of use. Alright, I guess I'll just take the spear. You're now sure that the spear head is made of iron, but it's not rusty yet. Carry the weapon back to the rock face and push it into the grasses so it won't bother you while climbing. Okay, what about the nest? You could easily fit inside and sit down with outstretched legs. It resembles a multi-layered wicker fence, made of branches much larger than the little twigs usually carried by birds, as well as bones and plant stalks. Plenty of light gets through the wall gaps, but the nest's bedding is much denser, padded with moss and grasses. A partly buried egg is larger than your head. It's more oblong than chicken eggs, but of a similar color. United teachers' teachings are clear, and to shatter this egg would be worth a fortune of Lavin. I'm sure the right wouldn't mind if I got a few dragon bones out of this. You climb inside and put your hands on the egg. Let out a curse. The shell is extremely light, as if completely empty. You lift and shake it. The shriveled contents hit against the walls. It's not clear to you why a monster would put so much effort into looking after an egg that died months ago, if not years. Huh. That seems kind of pointless. It's already dead. Step away, touched by a gentle gust of wind. The wilderness sounds a bit more familiar to you. And that poor thing is like, does it know it's dead? It's kind of sad. Alright. Well, since I'm at them, what else is there to do? Something about Gale Rocks, right? Talk to him about Glacia. Let's try to meet her. It's been a while. I'm not exactly sure on what I'm going to say yet. You stop your palfrey and fix your eyes on the critter under a lonely tree. Its fur is shorter than your arm, no taller than a handspan, with tiny ears. It's mostly brown, with a white stomach and a black tip of its tail. Nimble like a cat, pokes with its nose something among the tall grasses. The stoat tears apart the large nest made of twigs and leaves. one of which remains are still hanging from the branches above. Pay attention to the rustling leaves, take a deep breath. Moving water would cover up your scent. I shoot the stout from a crossbow. I stay in the saddle, charge forward, and throw my axe. Dismount quietly, grab my axe, and sneak up on it. I'm sure I can hit the squat with a quarrel. The bolt pierces the sides of his little shell, hits the tree, and shatters. The critter whines in pain, but takes only a few short steps before it chokes on blood. By the time you approach it, it needs no mercy. Crash to pick it up. One could turn the shell into a nice pelt. The creature is warm, but still, with wide open black eyes as round as a pearl. You raise your eyes at the clouds. The remains won't last more than 2 or 3 days of the late summer weather. Better to look for a buyer soon. And take a closer look at the nest. The blue dotted eggs are shattered to pieces, their contents devoured. Pack the stout into an empty sack. I wonder what I could do with this thing. While someone watches you from the trees whistling, it's the sound of hooves that lures a few people out to the gate. A few of the highwaymen welcome you by mentioning your trade, and while you're being observed, no one reaches for their weapon. That's good. Lucia is standing with the only other woman who belongs to her band, laughing about something she said. She then walks towards you and gestures for you to walk with her, while the other person steps away, observing you distrustfully. You just trust me more for Shelby's fine. Sterion, I already know what Sterion is, I don't need your help. Counts of Gale Rocks is planning to hold a meeting about cutting ties with your band. No. I don't want to tell her that. I want them to cut ties. I guess there's nothing I can talk to her about. Let's go to the gate. Traveling. It's getting dark. 3 hours. Alright, we got time to hit the steep house. See if we caught any fish. We did catch some fish. Uh-oh. Damn, I did not time this right. Pelton North is the closest. I barely got here. Yeah, I apologize that I meant for the end. Go to the innkeeper. Fish to sell. Any leftovers? Great. If you don't mind, I need a rest. Leftovers. Oh, wait a minute. Pyros. I know you stole something. I know you stole something from Gale Rocks. Okay, I'll turn you in. But I need your help. Oh, we got the bandit on our side, right? Okay, we got the bandit. Quintus. Talia. Who else? Dalit. You know I'm always down for the max rung. I've seen a weird human-like creature with great skin. It was eating raw fish at the pond in the heart of the woods. Any clue what it could be? She asks you about the appearance and action of the creature, and after a pause she looks at the boar as if she's asking it for help. I had ever heard about such a beast. Her voice turns into a whisper. Maybe a bad sign. What you know about griffins? The noble griffins? They don't live here. It's too close to the ocean. Can't compete with the flying birds, so they only hunt at dawn. Or do you mean the scrubs? Those are everywhere. Try to scare them off, like from a large distance, or by wounding them before they get into position. In a place like this, they won't starve. There's a lot of game around. I wouldn't expect them to hunt for human flesh. Okay. Unicorns. Saw them a few times. Yeah. Barely hunt humans. Afraid of the largest beasts. Maybe we can use the horn to scare it away. Alright, I need to go to Gale Rocks to talk to him about what's their face. Think they'll be willing to see me? Let me check in on White Marshes. Hey, Valance. Just making sure you guys are okay. And not back to your old tricks. Alright. I'm ready to present my case against Glaucia to the council. So you say. Seravina moves away from the table slowly. With the tired sigh, stands up. Though it doesn't make her look much taller. After seeing the head woman's nod, the crossbow woman leaves her weapon leaning against the chair and runs outside. It'll take a while before my granddaughter gathers everyone here. A few of the elders would like to present. She's not there. I'll pick some berries and hunt for us. Why is that the case? They don't like her? She heads upstairs, followed by the unusual creaking of planks. The perfumed guard approaches you with an awkward smile. I won't ask you to leave your plate in another room, but it would be impolite to face the council, well, points at your axe, like a thug. First one, my equipment is where it should be. Take a deep breath and yeah, whatever. It's not like they're gonna attack me, right? It's old folks. Here you go. Many sweetened berries later, the room feels crowded by comparison with your regular visits, even though there's less than 24 people spread around the benches or sitting on the stairs. You're told to sit down on Severina's chair, facing the entire council. For now, they're mostly ignoring your presence, chatting about increasing frequency of gatherings such as this one. We're not getting any younger, darling, says an elder introduced to you as previous head fisher, and Severina responds to him with a smile warmer than you've seen from her. That's alright, no one here gets old quicker than I do behind this desk. He responds, and the man chuckles. You've met some of them already, but the perfume man is eager to announce every newcomer to you, dropping many names in the roles they are responsible for. Most of the elders are described to you by their past trades, artisans, overseers, fighters, and one storyteller, drawing a lot of attention with their horse, yet sonorous jokes. Even the faces you recognize look different, wearing elegant tunics, robes, and dresses, with jewelry that for once doesn't get in the way of the tiresome labor. Aside from them, there are a few younger people. The head salter, head cooper, head cook was the digger. Even though their backs are stronger, they seem more timid, not willing to interrupt the elders in their decades-old conversations. I observe the door, waiting for the last soul. Gasping for air, Photius runs inside, still buckling his belt, explaining that there was more work to do. No one seems surprised, and one of the other artisans pats his shoulder. Come. Have a honey berry. His predecessor invites him loudly, but Severina claps her hands a few times, encouraging everyone to take a seat. She stays at the spot just next to the desk, and for the first time you notice a subtle scent of violet flowers that surrounds her. We have rough hours ahead of us, we do, she starts. A Roadwarden wants us to reconsider the ties between our village and Glaucia's group. It's our group as well. The flutter chips in, and after the head digger scoffs, there she is, starting to respond, the head woman claps again. We ain't arguing right now. She runs her eyes over the crowd with a reprimand. Over the summer, we've all had a chance to present our views thoroughly. Let's allow the outsider to speak in peace, and when this is done, she meets her eyes, we'll open a discussion and move to the vote, so the officials of Hoblaven may know our answer before autumn. The puzzled looks and murmurs makes you think not everyone here was aware of the scope of the topic at hand. They don't get much time to express their discontent. So speak, outsider, will you? Starts the old fisher, and all quiets down. Start what I've already discussed with Severina. You describe your search for the lost merchants and the bandits' willingness to act against the council's orders. The response is mixed. Some observe you with disbelief, others with anger. The first words you hear belong to Photios, the head fisher. I'm sure they had a good reason. Reason or not, good or not, we need these tools, we do. And she takes them back south? Amelia, the cooper, raised her voice. We better learn how to make iron spices out thin air, that's one of the elders. For we won't see that caravan again. After a few minutes of back and forth, the headwoman tells you to move to the next thing, so that everyone has a broader understanding before they get bogged down by details. Okay, even though Glacier's band was only combat, they didn't move a finger to secure the tunnel in the south. No surprise to me that the Wilds reclaimed the roads with such ease. Your Pagos no longer trust you. You've lost a valuable ally. Glacier's own people already see that she's going too far. I spoke with one of them. He left their band in secret. Glacia is putting the lives of others into danger out of fear of her. Tell them about Quintus. Sterion is no longer around, but he has also recognized the threat presented by Glacidia. People are afraid of her. Eudycia, Iason, trade can't go on like this. Others there are already willing to negotiate with Havlavin. Endeavor to make the peninsula safer may be easier than you think. Let's go with someone who left the group. Once you finish describing him and his perspective, the locals seem confused. Could it be? One of the elders starts, but Severine raises her hand. Let's not name him at the moment. He tries to drop his past, like... Looks at the ceiling, allowing the media to finish. Like a mere thug. Let's talk about him once they're outside of Scats, says the old fisher, and gives you a weird look as if it's meant to make you vanish. Alright, well, that didn't work. Glaucia is putting the lives of others into danger out of fear of her. Tell him about Quintus. She threatened him? The Salter speaks with disbelief, but Severina takes her claim seriously. We were to speak with this man sometime in the future. Are you sure his testimony would not reveal you to be a lie? Seeing your nod, an uncomfortable grumbling spreads through the crowd. At least they protect the gate, one of the elders starts, but Fulvia waves it off. They could guard the gate on their own if they were so keen to do so. A brief quarrel is cut by the head woman, who gestures for you to go on. Okay. Sterino's no longer around, but he also recognized the threat presented by Glacia. People are afraid of her. Eudycia, Ice, and trade can't go on like this. Why do we care about Asterion? You look for contempt in Dominia's eyes, but her question seems to be honest and doesn't find a clear answer. Fools are afraid of anything that doesn't boil in their pot. Porcia, the cook, shrugs this topic off. When Glaucia and I were little lasses, she would even break a squab's neck. A few other anecdotes follow, such as the ones about her always caring for her parents, but Rufina calls for them to shut it. Don't speak of her as if she were a mere child. She's not the same. She went from a tailor to a bandit, from not even a mother to a leader. Haven't you talked with her in the past few years? She wears a different soul now. Locals exchange looks and then argue with the tailor's statement. Alright, that's going well. Even though Glacia's band knows only combat, they don't seem to move a finger to figure the tunnel in the south. It's no surprise to me that the Wilds reclaim the roads with such ease. Looking after roads is hard on the sound, stranger, starts the head woodcutter. We used to send dozens of souls every season or less, clearing and cutting. That ain't an easy task. Hearing that, you frown. You mentioned some of the deeds you're responsible for on the Eastern Path alone. How is it I could do all these things by myself, while she has an entire group that's familiar with the woods, and yet does nothing? Sounds the cup of the absent voice of Ayuno, Digger. She wants the wilderness, she does. Exactly. Makes it easier to patrol. Doesn't make your lives easier. Not to trade. Certainly not. Plus, the people of Old Pagos now, Pagos, no longer trust you. You've lost a valuable ally. Then call us thieves. Podius the fisher raises his hand in defense. We've done nothing to them. The perfume guard sighs, giving you a sad look. After listening to the Roadwarden, I've no doubt Glacia is to blame. She's a liar and a thief. One of the elders scoffs. Without her in the woods, we would never have been accused in the first place. Now, after all them bandits got themselves killed by the city folk, every missing pie will be our fault. We argue for a few minutes, but it seems like most people are convinced that there's only one possible thief of this statue. Alistair has already went to negotiate with Havlavin. The endeavor to make the peninsula safer may be easier than you think. Das must have some big plans if she's willing to loosen her grasp, starts Albus the Salter, and the wide-open eyes of the council show that they're thinking the same. They stare at you in silence, then look at their headwoman. After a few moments, she turns toward them. What was that to say? If we want to take a place at the table, we ought to make sure it'll be a good one. Well, that's all I have to say. Right, so we've listened. We did, starts the old fisher. His posture grows more lax the longer the gathering goes. But what do we trust what's the outsider? He scowls at you, thinks of all matters. Severina doesn't look at you, but her voice is gentle. Our neighbors see the Roadwarden as a guest, not just a stranger. We have no promises to make. All we have to do is decide if we're ready to speak with the city officials. A few of our artisans have spoken with the Roadwarden about our trade, starts Albus the Salter. The city may have a reason to send a mouthpiece here after all. Portia, the cook, mentions that from what she's heard at her diner, you didn't do much good for the villagers. Podius mentions that you refused to help him, and that you're as useless as that previous vagabond. What do you mean I didn't do much for the villagers? One of the elders, Paulus's grandmother, mentions that you offered to help her family. Iron the Digger says that the day when the village may once again need to use a certain tunnel may be approaching quickly, and that thanks to your help, it won't take as much effect. What do you mean I didn't do much good for the villagers? I've done nothing but good for villagers. The perfume man clears his throat. Alright, get to the discussion before we all fall asleep. I vote a strong yes, anyway. The news the Roadwarden brought to us about old Pagos is enough to convince me. Come, Leto. He nods at you and heads towards the exit. Guess we leave the hall. Follow the son of cloves until the man closes the door behind you and you hear the thudding window shutters on the ground floor of the keep. As you approach the gate, the village seems more empty than usual. But the smoke doesn't stop coming from the buildings of artisans. There's no time to stop the work. The guard tells you to stay nearby, places his pillow on the stairs, and sits down. He observes you for some time, and takes out his usual knife and focuses his attention on a new wooden log. Well, I got nothing else to do. Got the object in his hands. What are you carving? Shows you what looks like a few tiny planks, already detached from the rest of the log, as well as 4 wheels, cord in the center. I'll be a wagon. Last time I made a wheeled fish. I'm good with wheels, he explains, giving you a warm yet sad smile. It won't bother you. Got a kid? A grandkid? He grins. No, I have quite a family, I do. But this one is for my daughter. I'm still new at crafts, but she ain't picky. You ask him how old she is, and his keen eyes seem both defeated and accepting. 30. She merely holds the souls of a child. She won't ever go to the hills, beach, or forest, but has a good imagination, she does. I used to give her simple toys, swords, and figurines, but she'd rather play with the ones that can move. The wheels are the easiest for me. Spend some time chatting about his experience. Wait, merely holds the soul of a child. Does that mean that she's, like, stunted? Or she just enjoys that? Do you mean soul as in, mind? Or do you mean soul as in has a deep fondness for toys? You spend some time chatting about his experience, and the time goes quicker. Every now and then, some sort of screaming or laughter reaches you from the keep, but other than that, the closed doors and windows keep you without a clue. For more than an hour, both you and the man are called inside. Well, let's go then. The eyes inside the keep are tired, yet gentle. The council sits on the benches, with one of the elders napping, and some of the younger members looking longingly at the exit. The windows are open once again, but the air is still stale, in part because of the flower perfumes. Severina is standing behind her desk, leaning on the top, glancing at you with hardly any emotion. You notice that many of her wax tablets have switched places, and half of them are open. The vote is done. Weak, yes. She states calmly. If Glacia wants to remain one of us, she needs to bring her band here and stay free of robber. We don't trust the officials and merchants, but we're ready to negotiate with them. Now let's disband and eat something. Thank the council. A few of the souls thank you for trying to make a change, while others congratulate you. The old fisher, who found himself something stronger to drink, feels it's necessary for him to take you to the side, explain that you shouldn't trust the guilds or priests anyway. You mostly nod, not entirely paying attention. The younger members of the city council help the elders cross the yard, and as they engage in friendly chatter, they forget about the gathering quickly. The head woman stops you before you follow their lead. There's one more thing, Leto. Coming from her lips, your name sounds strange to you. If you don't have to depart for have Lavin just yet, can you pass our decision to Glacia? Well, no way, she's going to kill me. For nothing in return, I expect? I mean, I'd do it. I would just like something as a reward. Scowls at you. What can I give you in return? Maybe 5 free repairs. I need a boat. Everyone learns that I'm useful. No, I tried that. But apparently people in the diners think that I don't help people. So, free food to fill my belly, I'll take it. In that case, I'll speak with Posse I had cooked. Find it just down the path. Close to the hill. Great. Alright, well, I'm out of here. Time I had to sleep. So then I have to go find Glacia. Oh, I need repairs. Go to the tailor. Thanks. Bathman. Now. Food. Porcia, there we go. Oh, now we're all filled up. Hideout it is. Let's go to the bandits' hideout. Into the hamlet. Alright. The Council of Gale Rocks held a meeting about cutting ties with your band. She freezes, then looks at you with a puzzled frown, seizing her healthy eye. A maiden? What are you talking about? Summarize the situation. She looks at her boots, with hands on her sides. You're treading on shaky ground if you think I can't connect this whole thing to your recent arrival. You're responsible for what's going on. She meets your eyes, and the fury you find in her look makes you step back. Hey, I'm not responsible. You're responsible for the actions you committed. I'm responsible for sharing what I've learned. Just so we figure out who's responsible for what. So why are you here? To beg for my forgiveness or to bring the good news? They decided to support you for now. From now on, don't count on the help of the people of Gale Rocks. You are advised to disband. Go back. She raises her eyes and puts on a glove. Brave of you to bring me the news in person. I appreciate that. She clenches her fist a few times and glances at the other woman from her band, then at you again and lets out a sigh. I should kill you, outsider. You lowered my guard and now I'm further away from my goal than I was last spring. She steps closer, looks at the palm of her four-fingered hand, now covered with leather, and after a few heartbeats, turns around. Don't ever get in my way again. I'll break your neck on sight. Well, we'll see. Definitely could, with all these people around. Should you see me out in the wild, who knows? But thank you for not using that to your advantage, I guess. Farewell, Glacia. Fuck off, she growls, her heavy steps accompanied by the constant sound of her heels and mail. Follow her to the pond. One of her men grabs the collar of her gambeson, pushing you toward the gate. Nearby shrubs are shaking. You hear the sounds of a fight. If you get closer, the battling creatures run deeper into the woods. Alright. That was easier than I thought. And I didn't get out of there with any scraps on me. Empty. Alright, well. There is one more thing I have to do. Decide what to do with what I've learned about Steep House. Standing in the middle of the islet, take a good look at the village. The locals follow their daily routines. Children are playing tag. The trees are turning golden brown. You listen to the humming creek and a singing old woman. And you can see what's beneath all that. A home to raiders who led dozens of humans to death. Decide to act. You'll have only one shot at this. Starting a storm without the firm support of the locals will paint you as a threat. If Thais was able to keep her power despite her deeds, she surely has strong support. And she may not yield to you even if you openly confronted. I should do this in the morning, just in case I'm no longer welcome here. Just so you know, I have time to leave. And might as well help. Get some coins while I can. And if I'm here, I don't want to spend the coins on the bath. Alright, hold on, I'll be right back. Wash my cell. Check the fish trap. Ooh, and we caught 2 fish. Back to Hallersdale. Gossip for a bit. Enter the village. Go to the main square. Talk to the innkeeper. Sell some fish. Get some rations. Now we can decide what to do. I have to do my best to weaken the mayor's position. The druids may help me with that. Could offer Thais an alliance in exchange for my silence. I did my part. Could report everything to the city officials, let them decide if they should get involved. Nothing good would come out of opening old wounds. It's better to let Steep House fade into the past. No. I'm not a huge fan of the mayor. She's willing to work with the city. But all I have to do is weaken the mayor's position, right? The druids, they won't help with stuff. This is hard. Do I offer an alliance? Or do I weaken the mayor's position? Let's go talk to the mayor for a second. The monks are worried about Eudicia's golems. They asked me to make sure they're not a threat. I don't want Glacia is so obsessed with taking necromancers down. I know the location of the bandits' hideout. No, they don't need to know, do they? Oh, I've been to the tribe of the Green Mountain. Explain how you reached it and what you saw. She rubs her hands cheerfully. Judging by the tale, they aren't bothered by their humble lives, and even less so by what we try to rebuild here. Splendid. I don't need more chaos in our land. She leans forward with a smile, resting her chin on her wrist. One of the oldest of our forest speakers have been to that place. It's remarkable that you managed to find it. It's remarkable you didn't. The monks are worried about Odysseus' golems. I've been to the caves in the monastery. The monks are trying to know. I don't want to tell her that. Severina of Gale Rocks tries to get an edge by paying messengers to avoid your village. No. I don't need to tell her that. Definitely won't tell her that. Helps us and hold you in high regard. Also, don't really care to tell her that. She probably already knows, though. I do know the location of the bandits' hideout. I guess it wouldn't hurt me to tell you. They briefly explains. She chips in and snaps her fingers a few times. Ah, the lumberjack hamlet. It used to belong to Gale Rocks. Now, if Theostoth's cousin in trouble, we'll know where to strike. And that helps me too. Probably should take this news straight to Guild, but that's all I have to say. Still, it's a silly question, Leno. What future do you see for the peninsula? Imagine being the chieftain of the north. What would you, the one, What I would do? Under my command, the settlement would join the 10 cities, standing aloof, plus the locals in danger, and focus on creating a trade route with the guild without joining the cities. Working with the 10 cities will take away your freedom. If it calls my call alone, I'd send the news to cut the negotiations. No, I definitely would not. The settlements should work together, share their goals to make this place safer. Maybe start a new village. I never did make such a call. The community has a right to govern themselves. And focus on creating a trade route with the guild without joining the cities. Joining 10 cities, standing aloof, puts the locals in danger. Nah, that'd be too much. That'd be too fast. People don't like change. Change that fast? You gotta ease people into that. So first, I'd focus on creating a trade route with the guild without joining the cities. Compromise, then. She gives you a habitual smile. But the city's attempts would never, ever end. Not while we have anything they want. And yes, I'm ready to play their game. But are the other settlements? Would the next mayor of Howlers be able to handle this? If I sign a deal that pushes our children to change 20 years from now, will I be responsible? So in my group that's practicing a local song. Will you? What would Elpis do if they oust her? Or would they oust her? I guess I can bring this up. I don't want Glacia so obsessed with taking the necromancers down. Share Glacia's story. Eyes give you a cold look. So that's what this is all about. I always struggle to see how she is Soul, who I think you'll agree is rather sane, was worn blinkers for so many years. You know I was missing a part of the puzzle. Yeah, about that puzzle. She looks away with tightened lips, her chest moves from deep breaths, and after a moment she gestures for Akakios to step closer. Give Leto 5 rings, she says without as much looking at him. Her green eyes reveal a mixture of anger and amusement. She's in for a surprise, she titters, making the traitor scuttle away once he leaves the coin on the table. I was let her do her thing for too long. I'll get her next year. Well, she might be the one person I like less than you. Thank you for your time. I still have not decided. I don't like Dias. But Elpis and the rest of the druids likely won't work with the city. For my part, I'm going to report everything to the city officials and decide if they should get involved. Nah, we can't trust her. She's plotting something. Alright. Let's try weakening Mayor's position. Hopefully I can use my position to help Elpis handle or convince them to work with the city. But would they? They're so set on their ways. It's a difficult decision.